what we already mentioned, which was that the NHL, NHLPA, IIHF, and the IOC announced a partnership that NHL players will be going to the 2022 Olympics held in Beijing. So, what we want to kind of look at is what are some of the players on the Stars roster that might be a part of their country's Olympic team. So, Chris, you want to go ahead and maybe mention one or two, maybe, who you think might make the Olympic roster?
Yeah, pretty much all the Finns. So all four of them: Roope Hintz, Miro Heiskanen, Esa Lindell, and Jani Hakanpää, the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to be on the Finnish team.
I'm not so sure about Hakanpää for me per se. I know he's a big dude, so he may just get down there strictly just because he's a big dude. But Roope Hintz, he has to be a shoo-in, in my opinion, based off of how he played last season. And I watched the hockey guys.
Play this season.
Yeah, this season is going to be a monster year, in my opinion, for Roope Hintz. And the hockey guy, Shannon Skanes on YouTube apparently thinks so too. He did like a list of 15 players who are most likely to explode this season, and Roope Hintz was number one on that list. So he's expecting that for Roope Hintz, and as are we. Esa Lindell definitely, I feel like will make the team just on his defensive prowess. He has to be on that team. Miro Heiskanen, again, just because on the offensive side of the puck, he can play the power play. He can do the penalty kill. He can play it all. He plays 25 minutes a night.
Maybe that's your 1-2 for Finland.
Go ahead.
That'd be a little weird. Miro Heiskanen,
yeah,
it'd be
yeah. Instead of Klingberg and Esa Lindell, that'd be definitely weird. So for me, I don't know how likely this is. I think there's a possibility to it. But again, based off of the play of this player's, how he did last season, I think he has a shot of making the Team USA, and I think that's Joe Pavelski. I think he has a shot. I don't think he's going to be relied upon in a major offensive role because obviously you've got, Austin Matthews, you've got the Tkachuk brothers, you've got the Hughes brothers as well. Jack and Quinn as well. But I could see with Pavelski at his age being on the second or third line, and maybe even being the captain of a really young Team USA team. And you got to have some of the old guys in there.
If he plays anywhere close to how he played last season, then he's no doubt going to be on the Olympic team. But I just don't see how he's going to keep up with those numbers that he produced last season. We'll see, though. I'd love for that to happen.
Yeah, that would be cool to watch, right? And a lot of people are like, "Hey, what about Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin?" Well, they're both Canadians, and I'm sorry, but there's so many other players. And
Tyler Seguin could if he gets back to the way he was playing before he got hurt.
Exactly, but there's so many questions. There's so many questions. It's less likely. I believe in him less than I do in Roope Hintz having a monster season, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Roope Hintz will have a monster season. I believe that will happen and will be more likely than Tyler Seguin having another monster season. But again, we'll see. Maybe he goes on a tear and he's top 10 in scoring. Who knows? So, but can he do it? Yes, he definitely can.
Oh yeah, he could. He has all the skill to do it. It doesn't look like Jamie Benn can do it anymore.
Yeah, there's and maybe he gets in just as on a defensive role. Maybe he gets thrown in on the fourth line or something. But again, highly unlikely. So, anyways. Joe Pavelski, I think he has a decent shot. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd put maybe 65, 70%, maybe. So,
wow.
And I know that's high, and I know you think that's crazy, but I think he really does have a chance.
Yeah, I was gonna say 30, just because that's the percentage I'm putting on him having a year close to what he had this year as he did last year.
Well, if he plays it. If the rumors are true and he really does continue to play with Roope Hintz and Jason Robertson, I think that definitely goes up in his likelihood of. I'm not expecting the same season he had last season. That's not happening again.
I just don't think. But, honestly, let me just get into this. I don't think he's gonna stay on that line for very long. honestly. I don't think he's as fast as the other two guys are. I think it's going to end up being either Hintz goes on the wing and Sagan takes the faceoffs just because Hintz can't do faceoffs, which Hintz has been getting better, but still. Or it could be
he's still not to 50% though. Like
or
he
it could
needed
be
to
Gurionov gets off of his sophomore slump and plays way better, and he takes that spot on the line. So
Right.
I honestly don't think that Pavelski's going to be there for very long. I think he was good for them during last season just because of how consistent he was, and he was always in the right spot. But I don't think he's going to be on that line for a long time. Hot take of the podcast.
Well, no, that's not really a hot take. That's decent. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. What about Alexander Radulov?
Yeah,
I know
that's
he
question
was
mark just because he hasn't
and
played
again,
a lot.
right. He hasn't, and again, this just goes back to all the things we talked about over, right after the season, all the injuries we had and stuff like that. He was still over a point a game during the season in the games that he played, which is crazy. Because I mean, how old is he now? Is he 36, 35? I think.
I don't know. He's old.
So he's definitely over the hill at this point, and this is another old guy who could play for the Russians, and play. I don't know. I wouldn't expect him to play on a line with Ovechkin or anything, but he could be another guy who could be veteran leadership on a really good Russian team. Meh.
I don't think so, but I hope so. He showed the past couple of seasons that he has played with the Stars. He just doesn't have that consistency. So whenever he's really into a game, he can be explosive and he can be one of the best players in the league. But
and he can get himself into a lot of trouble with penalties too.
Yeah, but you just don't get that every night, and you get all those penalties that you have to deal with. It's a mixed bag. He's 35, by the way.
He is 35.
So he's younger than Suter.
He is. Was that a shot, Christian Chambers?
Yes.
I think that was a shot.
Yes, it was.
I'm gonna laugh at you so hard if when Ryan Suter comes in and he's probably he's even more steady than Lindell. Talk about that hot take right there. That's a hot take. We'll go with that. Okay.